I will welcome our next speaker. His name is Jeffrey Meisel. Jeffrey Meisel is the Vice President and General Manager, Direct-to-Consumer at Constellation Brands. He has over 25 years of experience in strategic and performance leadership in brand building, and he will talk about the consumer obsession, leveraging technology to transform consumer insights into loyalty and lifetime value. The floor is yours.
Thank you. All right, mic is on. It's hot. Good. Good day, everyone. It is really great to be here. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be part of Mind to Mind and the Harvard Data Science Review. And Kathy, great talk. We're a client of Enolytics, big fan, and it's one of our building blocks in our tech stack. So I got my start not in technology, but I got a history degree from the University of Michigan. But before that, I peeled fresh water chestnuts for my parents' dinner parties and served wine at our home. It was part of our culture of connecting and creating great experiences to a small group. And that's where I got my start in hospitality. I'm going to get my little thing back here, just faded out of me. Kevin, I lost my little monitor. Actually, there we go, we're back. So I took that to Michigan, moved to Italy, immersed myself in food and wine culture, and came back to New York with a history degree and was a waiter in New York City restaurants, and I got my start with great wine. I went on to manage restaurants in New York. I moved to Napa Valley, worked at Greystone, a great restaurant in St. Helena, where I was 25 and managing 100 people, but meeting people like Robert Mondavi and Joe Heitz, and some of the greats of the really early start of Napa Valley. I had my first tech startup called WiredKitchen.com, bringing the restaurant industry and technology together in a fragmented, broken place where a lot of whether it's a small wine or a small restaurant, they're not ready for that next step in technology. But I was always trying to bridge that gap, recognizing that technology could be a powerful tool. I went on to lead a small import company for 10 years. Then I took the technology idea and launched a wine and spirits vertical inside a fashion company online. And then I started my own luxury spirits online wine and spirits retailer, using technology again as the foundational solution to consumers' challenges with buying online. Sadly, that went out of business from bad investors. Some of you may be there as entrepreneurs. Those are the risks. And then a few years after that, I joined Constellation 3 years ago. First came on as we were acquiring Lingua Franca and Booker Vineyard, two small wineries on the West Coast. And then just over 2 years ago, I launched the DTC channel. We built the channel for DTC, recognizing the power of bringing together hospitality and e-commerce and loyalty into one business channel. And so where I want to start is that and by the way, I live in San Francisco. So we've got over 20 iconic brands in the portfolio, wineries and distilleries. 12 locations in North America. We also have a property in Italy with a great hospitality location. And in our wine and spirits business, we have 500,000 unique consumer profiles that we can market to. There's a breakdown by brands, but we'll get to that in a second. And what we want to do is Kathy's example was great because we have some small wineries, but we're also looking at personalization at scale. And we're trying to get to this next point of how do we get through the noise, the clutter, right? Our requirements are changing. It's not that one-to-one experience like I had at that dinner party or at the table with a restaurant. It has to be different. Our inboxes are full. We're cluttered, right? It's not the same as it used to be. So email is a powerful tool. It's still a powerful selling tool, but we have to be better at it. So we take technology with consumers' behaviors, and then it can build lifetime value and loyalty. First-person data is critical, but imagine this. In 2020, we had almost no first-party data. We were not collecting it. We were throwing it away like across the business, from our beer brands to everything. It was just, the DTC business was fragmented. And so with 2020 spring, we acquired a winery called Empathy Wines from Gary Vaynerchuk. We acquired it for the tech stack and for the team, more so than for the wine. The wine was the side hustle for that. But it immediately got us onto a Shopify plus e-commerce platform as the foundation for e-commerce. That was a great start with an ESP for email, helped us, great start. And then later that year and early 21, our IT team with MarTech said, okay, we need a foundation across the whole business of clean, secure, compliant data. right? And the privacy things we talked about and the legal components, but let's build that. So we started with a foundation with a CDP, a customer data platform, and that's the foundation across our entire business. We use Shopify on top of that, not only for e-commerce, but even our beer brands are on there. We don't sell DTC, but we wanted one clean platform for these different areas, critical for us. So if you go back in time, even in 2019, you'd visit Robert Mondavi Winery, you might join the club, you might buy something that day in the store, you might go home later and buy some wine for your holiday gifting, and we were conducting none of it. Like, there was no journey for you, nothing personalized. And that was another use case of a business case, like, how are we gonna do that? So we started with business challenges. That's always critical for us when we look at these things. So we scoped that, as I said, we end up now with 6 million uniques for the whole company, but 500,000 for beer and wine. Did I go to, yeah, okay. So the portfolio is vast. I kind of glossed over that, but Robert Mondavi Winery has been part of the portfolio for a long time. And the world-class Lingua Franca, one of the newer ones in our portfolio up in Willamette Valley. Neighbors not too far from Ponzi, good friends with that group. And the Prisoner Wine Company, which is in Napa Valley. And it is a innovative, disruptive brand. So you can see just from those three wineries, three very different stories, plus High West Distillery in Park City, and some other cool things around the world. And so today, we're gonna look at the Prisoner as an example. Of that 500,000, about 150,000 are unique to the Prisoner Wine Company that we can market to. We have over 6,000 wine club members. And this brand, and I say it's a brand, it's a winery, but we make wine here, but it's a consumer brand, right? And it has evolved from a single wine over 20 years ago, a single SKU that really broke the mold in Napa Valley, disruptive, irreverent, got a cult-like status, and then it became a house of brands. So now there's 5 brands under this umbrella, with that first one on the left was the Prisoner Red Blend, and now it's a house of brands. So you've got one halo with now over 30, 40 different wines in that portfolio with 5 different homes, all in one place. So you think about that now, you start thinking about a marketing challenge there. And so, well, we're not using that. So we look at DTC as hospitality, loyalty, and e-commerce, or growth, right? It's about the consumer journey beginning, and we want to take our insights of the consumer joining us, and let's start with hospitality. So we leverage technology even before you arrive. Okay? It starts with our reservation system. Our reservation system gets the data, our team takes that data and creates more personalized experiences. It's a bridge between the backdrop, the CDP, is connected now to our reservations platform as well, and to Shopify. So all these things come together, and we start building consumer journeys, that consumer journey orchestration. You sometimes see those acronyms, CJO. Well, I'll try to stay away from too many acronyms today, because all of our different backgrounds have different knowledge there. So we analyze that data, we make a better experience for the guests. But that's still a journey, it's still new. We're building and building right now. But we can also use AI to send highly personalized communications. And with the right content at the right time, that message can feel uniquely tailored to you, even if we use tools behind the scene to do, again, personalization at scale. We want to maintain that authentic, bespoke content, but again, our audience is large, and we need to be able to do that at a higher level, at a faster level. When they conclude their experience, right, the guests finish, they might have joined the club, that's one of our goals, but we have to move them beyond that one-size-fits-all. It can't be the same thank you note for everyone. It can't be the same thing. So again, we want to use the data we have collected into a journey, and then consumers can move within the journeys all the time. So if you think about it, 10% of visitors that come to the property join the club. Our club is getting 15% year-over-year growth. Kathy pointed out about some business being down, some business being up. Because of those tools of technology and recognizing the power of that, our business is growing. It's growing rapidly. But there's also risks of that. There's risks of what happens. Because if you think about loyalty, it's a powerful word. To be loyal to a winery, to give your money and your recommendations to friends, that's powerful. It has to be more than that single visit, that single purchase that keeps you a part of a membership, right? It's not a skincare, it's membership. And so when you think about it, For us, our wine clubs, we have lots of direct-to-consumer exclusives, club exclusives. This is one example. But that's not going to keep someone in for years and years just to get that little special wine. It has to be a connection. So what are we doing? We have the luxury of curating events around the country. We have the luxury of pop-ups at the winery, other member benefits. But you start taking 5 brands and all this kind of content, how do you get that message through? If you were a member of our wine club in December, you would have gotten 30 emails from the prisoner. That's insane, right? That's not sustainable. So this is new for us. This is a journey we're on. We haven't solved everything. We're working towards it. So we figured out, okay, let's take our opportunity and with the technology we have and start reducing the number of emails based on consumer behavior. If you never opened an email about white wine, or you never customized one of your shipments and added a white wine, why are we sending you that white wine email? It doesn't make sense. But we're not going to do it wholesale, right? We're going to do it in levels, test and learn. Always testing, always learning, putting a process together. That's critical as well. So our teams are working closely with our MarTech partners, marketing technology team. Our e-com managers are trained, our club managers are trained to use these systems to then build more and more subsets using the CDP platform. It's a really great way to again, reduce that. At Lingua Franca Winery, we're still on a legacy Shopify, not on Shopify, legacy system, and we're a wonderful client of Analytics. We love that, and our club manager uses it for similar things, and we have integrated all that consumer data though into our CDP. The CDP cuts across all sites regardless of legacy platforms. That's also critical. So we're able to leverage that. And that takes time, it takes money, it takes resources, but it also takes the team to be trained to do it. It's important for us. So we look at e-commerce growth. Loyalty represents 30%. So besides the club shipments of a club member, you're going to have another 30% of our total sales are from club members. So that loyalty customer is critical for our entire business. And this is an example of one of the club exclusives that we offer. But if you think about that power of that business, you must connect them all. Going back to the idea before, the wine club member, we used to have index cards and filing cabinets on wine club members. There was no data on them in some system. So that took years, to get that going. And that's critical. So now they funnel through in various channels. When we think about where the consumers enter the funnel, that's when it all begins. You might have found out about us from a targeted ad, or a friend told you about it while you had dinner at their house, right? And next thing you know, you're booking your trip to Napa. And all these things start connecting. So then we start putting people into orchestrated journeys, really important journeys. But we have to be careful, right? Because we don't want to have too small a segment. So again, we're always testing too. If you think about going back to the House of Brands, if the newest winery in that bunch, Domaine Curry, they have no email list. They need the power of that 150,000 from the prisoner to get momentum. So we have to be really conscientious of that. So again, testing, learning, pivoting, and trying new things. Really critical. So we're excited about what lies ahead. Our use of AI is increasing. We see it continuing. We really do, and we're not afraid of it. We're embracing it right now. It's important that we are, I want to just use one little, I'm going to skip the case study of Robert Mondavi because it's a similar story to the emails reduction. But I'll say this, when we did a test with Robert Mondavi Winery, we were able to get back, using orchestrated journeys, testing, we did a small subset of consumers that had not purchased in over 9 months, but prior to that, have a lifetime value of about $1,000 or higher. In that one club campaign, in that one email campaign to consumers, not club members, we had a $10,000 order in 5 minutes who went on to continue purchasing. We had others. We had a 46% open rate compared to 20% typically. That kind of stuff is, but you can test, you can learn, you can pivot. So it's really critical. So what that showed us is the right time, the right message, the right circumstances. It talks about this really personalization at scale. And then it allows our team to then still do those phone calls, those one-to-ones, because that's also critical. I'm not at all disputing that. That is critical. But now we free up our teams to do that when we've got the power of technology behind us. And we also see our creative team getting to use Gen AI in the future. Right now, we're testing it. But I want to just kind of end with this idea that we're consumer obsessed. We understand that we must be with you, consumers, on this journey. Whatever style of wine you like, whatever you're giving your own personal rating, whatever you're referring to, our first-person data collection and insights are the key to tying it all together. From your first hospitality experience, to that club membership maybe you've joined, to your experience on a website, to how we personally interact with you. It's the foundation behind it is making it personalized. We'll connect deeply and personally with you on the journey. We'll continually evaluate new technologies and platforms. Really critical. We've got foundations, but we must always look for what's next. And we'll integrate into our platforms, or we'll build. Sometimes we decide we build. We're blessed with that size team that we can do that. And through our team's use of technology, the team using it, we are seeing higher lifetime value, longer club membership growth, and most importantly, more meaningful connections with our consumers.